Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rorangam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jaya Radha Radhanata Radha Radhanata Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Jaya Gora Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Their Lordships Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Guru Vrind Ki Jai, Sri Gurudev Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So today we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 53. Jai. So before I commence, we're just going to read the purport that speaks about this chapter, which is from text 1. The chapter is entitled The Descriptions of the Characteristics of King Puranjana. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. This chapter contains a great lesson concerning the kingdom in the days of yore. When King Bharishyat was considering retiring from the royal duties, he sent his sons to perform austerities in order to become perfect kings for the welfare of the citizens. At the same time, King Bharishyat was being instructed by the great sage Narad about the material world and the living entity who wants to enjoy it. It is therefore very clear how kings and princes were trained to take charge of a kingdom. Welfare activities for the benefit of the citizens were aimed at understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The human form of life is especially meant for understanding God. Our relationship with Him and our activities in His service. Because the kings took charge of the spiritual education of the citizens, both the king and the citizens were happy in Krishna consciousness. In this regard, we should remember that the hierarchy of Prachina Bharishat comes from Maharaj Dhruva, a great devotee of the Lord and the most celebrated disciple of Narada Muni. King Prachina Bharishat was then too much engaged in fruitive activities due to performing different types of yagyas. One can actually be promoted to the higher planetary systems or to the heavenly kingdoms by performing various yagyas. But there is no question of liberation or going back to Godhead. When the great sage Narad saw that a descendant of Maharaj Dhruva was being misled by fruitive activities, Narada Muni took compassion upon him and personally came to instruct him about the ultimate benediction of life, Bhakti Yoga. How Narada Muni indirectly introduced the Bhakti Yoga system to King Prachina Bharishat is very interestingly described in this 25th chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So with that introduction from text 1, let's start with the Sanskrit. Niritir Nama Paschad Dwas Taya Yati Puranjanaha Veshasam Nama Vishayam Lubdakyena Samanvitaha Niritir Nama Paschad Dwas Taya Yati Puranjanaha Vaishyasam Nama Vishayam Lubdakyena Samanvitaha Niriti Nama Paschadvas Taya Yati Puranjanaha Vaishasam Nama Vishayam Lubdakyena Samanvitaha Niriti Nama Paschadvas Taya Yati Puranjanaha Vaishasam Nama Vishayam Lubdakyena Samanvitaha Niriti Nama Paschadvas Taya Yati Puranjanaha Vaishasam Nama Vishayam Lubdakyena Samanvitaha. Prabhus? More Prabhus? Mataji's? Niritir, of the name Niriti, Nama, called, Paschat, western, Dwaha, gate, Taya, by which Yati used to go, Puranjanaha, King Puranjana, Vaishasam, of the name Vaishasa, Nama, called Vishayam, to the place Lubdakena, by the friend named Lubdaka, Samanvitaha, accompanied. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Another gate on the western side was known as Niriti. Puranjana used to go through this gate to the place known as Vaishasa, accompanied by his friend Lubdaka. Translation by His Divine Grace once again. Please repeat. Another gate on the western side was known as Niriti. Puranjana used to go through this gate to the place known as Vaishasa, accompanied by his friend Lubdaka. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. This is a reference to the rectum. The rectum is supposed to be situated on the western side of the eyes, nose, and ears. This gate is especially meant for death. When an ordinary living entity abandons his present body, he passes through the rectum. It is therefore painful. When one is called by nature to evacuate, one also experiences pain. The friend of the living entity who accompanies him through this gate is named Lubdaka, which means greed. Due to our greed, we eat unnecessarily, and such gluttony causes the pain at the time of evacuation. The conclusion is that the living entity feels well if he evacuates properly. This gate is known as Niriti, or the painful gate. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Narayanam namaskrityam naman sheva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriyet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nayistiki Om Jnanatimirandhasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Krishnadas Swamin Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. We find this word Paschat here, and this is in the Pranam mantra of Srila Prabhupada, Paschatya Desha Tarine, which means Western countries, or Western here, so that's an interesting thing. This is a reference to the rectum. I was wondering why nobody wanted to give class today. And then I read the purport, Hare Krishna. The rectum is supposed to be situated on the western side of the eyes, nose, and ears. This gate is especially meant for death. And we understand that the ordinary person, that person who has not performed any spiritual activities, or is not in Krishna consciousness, that person leaves the body through the rectum. And that's a very, very painful death. So we don't want to leave our bodies through the rectum. We want to leave our body through the higher perforations in the skull, etc. Then the yogi is able to go to the higher planetary systems and to the spiritual world. I learned one very interesting thing from His Grace, Jagananda Pandit Prabhu, who you know is a doctor by profession. And he told me that that devotee who leaves his body, the soul leaves the body through the higher openings, rigor mortis doesn't set in that body. Rigor mortis is when the muscles of the body become very tense and body becomes very, very stiff. He told me that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj had told him this. When a devotee leaves, an advanced devotee, the body doesn't become hard. You can put the body in a folded condition, take the body on parikram, etc. And he said that when his mother-in-law passed away, that means Jayashree's Mataji, who we all adore as Nani, her passing away was very auspicious, and rigor mortis did not set in her body. Hari Bol! So, this is one test. Also, fear doesn't set in, and pain doesn't set in when we take that final breath. And that's how we want to lead our entire life, practicing Krishna consciousness very seriously. So when the time comes for us to take that final breath and face that final examination, then our mind can be fixed on Krishna. At that time there is no fear of death. And we can be transferred directly to the spiritual world. Golok Vrindavan Dham ki. Their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Radhanath ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Sri La Prabhupada ki jai. When one is called by nature to evacuate, one also experiences pain. The friend of the living entity who accompanies him through this gate is named Lubdaka, which means greed. Due to our greed, we eat unnecessarily, and such gluttony causes pain at the time of evacuation. So here Srila Prabhupada is giving us an important instruction that if we eat unnecessarily, we're going to have pain at the time of evacuation. So, in other words, we should not eat unnecessarily. And we find the same theme running in Nectar of Instructions throughout Bhagavad Gita about unnecessarily eating. Let's have a look at a purport from Srila Prabhupada, from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. Chapter 6, text 16 and 17. There is no possibility of one becoming a yogi, O Arjun, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Many important points are raised, and Srila Prabhupada says, one who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping, and he must consequently sleep more than is required. So if we eat too much, we're going to sleep too much. And then we're going to dream too much. And then the whole purpose of this human life is going to be lost simply by overeating. And then Srila Prabhupada continues. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So we are told that we shouldn't overeat. Right? We mustn't be a glutton. And how to regulate that, how to avoid being a glutton is explained in this purport of text 17, chapter 6. Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending and mating, which are the demands of the body, can block advancement in the practice of yoga. Again, the same point is being echoed. We can block our advancement. As far as eating is concerned, it can be regulated only when one is practiced to take and accept prasadam, sanctified food. Lord Krishna is offered according to the Bhagavad Gita, vegetables, flowers, fruit, grains, milk, etc. In this way, a person in Krishna consciousness becomes automatically trained not to accept food not meant for human consumption. are not in the category of goodness. So, this is what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that if we only accept food offered to Krishna, then naturally the tendency to want to overeat will be curtailed. And Srila Prabhupada also here gives us the wonderful example of Srila Haridas Thakur. Srila Prabhupada says that Thakur Haridas will not even accept prasadam, nor even sleep for a moment without finishing his daily routine of chanting with his beads 300,000 names. Hare Krishna. So, I think another way of us curtailing our desire to honor a lot of prasad is to try to finish our rounds before honoring prasadam. I know it's a bit of a difficult topic to speak on, especially because devotees have been fasting whole day yesterday and was looking forward to the feast yesterday. And when we fast the whole day, we really want to honor prasadam nicely. But even then, we have to be very conscious of the quantity of the prasadam that we have, because overindulgence, even if it's opulent prasadam, even if it's prasad, it's going to make us feel sleepy. It's going to make us dream. It's going to make us lazy. So a yogi has to always be conscious about what he is honoring and the quantity of prasadam that he is honoring. And this comes out very strongly in Nectar of Instruction. One can't become a spiritual master if you cannot control your tongue, your belly, your genitals. And what spoils devotional service is atyahara, collecting more than necessary and eating more than necessary. So the same theme is there. So we as devotees have to control our senses, control the tongue, control the belly, control the genitals. And I understand that if we eat the proper quantity, we'll be able to evacuate properly, and then we will feel well. So this reminds me of an interesting story. Akbar and Birbal. You all may have heard about this famous Mughal ruler of Bharat. So his advisor was a trusted Brahmin by the name of Birbal. And once Akbar asked Birbal, "How are you?" He said that, "I am very happy and blissful because I just passed stool." King Akbar was absolutely disgusted and wanted to actually punish him. But Birbal, very wise Brahmin, advisor to the king, he said that, "I will teach Akbar the lesson." So once they were in a boat, perhaps river Yamuna, because this happened near Agra. So Birbal was in the boat, Akbar was in the boat, and they were having some boating pastimes. And Akbar told Birbal, "Take the boat to the shore." Didn't say why. Then Birbal understood what was going on, didn't worry, continued going deeper into the river. Akbar said, "Birbal, go to the shore." Still he dilly-dallied. Finally, in desperation, Akbar said, "Birbal, get me to the shore." So finally Birbal went, took him to the shore, and Akbar had to here answer the call of nature, the call by nature to evacuate, and then went back on the boat, and Birbal asked, "How are you feeling?" He said, "I am feeling so well after evacuating." So Birbal said, "Didn't I tell you the last time that I felt so well after evacuating, and you wanted to you chastised me and you wanted to imprison me?" So in this way we can understand from that story that we feel well if we evacuate properly. And if we don't, then we're going to feel dizzy. So it's always good to have our meals at the proper time so that the body can be satisfied. 8:13, Hare Krishna. So, this gate is known as Niriti, or the painful gate. So to conclude this talk, the living entity here is being advised, here the king, by the great sage Narada Muni, by means of an allegory, which is a fable, a story, a parable, on how to remove himself from the intricacies of family life and human entanglement and find liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is quite amazing because when one goes to study how to write, to become a novelist, then one novel way of starting a novel is to get to the present, to describe what is happening presently, and from there go into the history of everything. So this was from an article in Back to Godhead magazine by, I think, Satya Raj Das, who attended a course on writing. And he said Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. Takes us to the banks of the Ganga, and what is transpiring. Maharaj Parikshit is having 7 days to live, and the entrance of the great sage Shukdev Goswami. And then from there they are able to go into the history. And in modern day writing also, using the way of creating an allegoric story, an allegory or a parable to teach something very important is praised. And perhaps in modern times, our students here in South Africa, they study animal farm. So it's all about an allegory, and speaks about when you want to teach an important lesson to someone in the form of a kind of a story, then we use this type of a story to help. So Narada Muni, to instruct the descendant of his great disciple Dhruva Maharaj, he speaks this allegory of Puranjana, who was supposed to be a king, and this entire body is known as Pura, which means the body, and explains everything, but how this body is being attacked, by 360 Gandharvas, and every day this body is being attacked. The air in our body, the 5 different types of the air which tries to protect the body, becomes weak with age. And it's important to surrender to the Lord. So Narada Muni uses this complex example to teach an important lesson to Maharaj Parikshit. So the idea is that this human life, which is extremely short, it should be used very, very intelligently to achieve the final purpose of human life, which is re-establishing our lost relationship with the Lord. Maharaj Bharishat, he was engaged in performing different types of yagyas and rituals. These rituals were simply to go back, to the heavenly planets or become Lord Indra. And this was a very sad situation for Narada Muni to see and to witness, because Dhruva Maharaj was his very beloved disciple. So advised him through this story on how to achieve liberation. Narada Muni told Maharaj Bharishat that these yagyas that you're performing to live nicely in this material world and to go to the heavenly planets will simply give you grief later on. All the animals that you are sacrificing in the yagya are going to be waiting for you after your death. And with iron horns, they're going to be waiting to pierce your body. So, we may find all the recommendations in the Vedas that you perform this yagya and you'll be able to live very nicely in this world. You perform that yagya and you can go to the heavenly planets. You perform another yagya and you can become Lord Indra. But all those yagyas were just going to give you more and more entanglement and more grief. And that's why I'm very, very appreciative of Mother Parvati. Once she heard Lord Shiva chanting the name of Gauranga. Everyone say, Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And she became very much attracted to the name of Gauranga. And she made a very powerful statement that attracted me. She said that this happened in Satyug, that all I have heard so far in the way of mantra and tantra all simply leads to more and more entanglement in this material world. And we can see that in this katha. Maharaj Bharishat, he performed all these yagyas and tantras and ritualistic things, and he just got more and more entangled. Mother Parvati said to Shiva, but this name Gauranga is able to liberate us from all kinds of entanglement in this material world. So Mother Parvati went to Simanta Dweep, which is an island in Navadvip Dham, very famous island. That's where our Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra is. And she performed tapasya. And she was able to take darshan of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So this name itself, Gauranga, is such a powerful name that we don't have to perform any other ritualistic activities. All we need to do is chant the names of Gauranga, and we'll chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari. And this name Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which was so kindly given to us and brought to the Western world by Srila Prabhupada is able to liberate us from all kinds of entanglement in this material world. And of course, Mahaprabhu came and he gave us this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And by the chanting of this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all our engagements, entanglements can be removed very, very easily. So by engaging in devotional service to the Lord, by the chanting of the holy names, by listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, by serving the devotees, by serving their lordships, by serving the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by serving the mission of Lord Sri Krishna, one can automatically be liberated from all types of calamities and entanglement in this world, so that when it comes to our final test, we can transfer ourselves back to Golok Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. So, I believe we have to leave some time for questions. I hope you all enjoyed some of the stories today. Let's have some questions, please. So how can we liberate ourselves from the complexities and entanglements in this material world? Simple question. Since you all are not going to ask me questions, I have to ask you questions. Let's have it. Yes, Prabhu. Jai Sachinandan Prabhu, can we have the mic? Question? Okay.
What was the question you asked? I didn't follow that.
Okay. How can we liberate ourselves from all the complexities and entanglements in material life?
Yeah, that's a very complex question, but anyway, it starts with the tongue.
Yes, great.
Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa. Tongue is used for talking and tasting prasadam.
Excellent.
Yeah, so, Prabhupada gives elaborate purport in that. You quoted that, you covered that atyahara, overeating, overindulging. But initially Prabhupada, when devotees joined, he would say, ply them with prasadam. He said, eat till you waddle like a duck. So, but as we grow older, we tend to give up this indulgence of, having a fetish for paneer and all kinds of rich foods, and we see our diet changes. And we eat very simple as we advance in Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
So it's all about the tongue, yeah. The tongue will be the mukha. Mukhya, and in the previous verse there was mukhya.
Mukhya.
Was describing in it. I think last week Maharaj gave that class. Mukhya and mukha. The mukhya, mukunda means one who gives liberation. So mukhya is also synonymous with the mouth and the tongue that can liberate us. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, Sachinandan Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I appreciate that point. So we need to respect prasadam nicely. And for those who have just joined, enjoy having lots of prasadam to quickly purify ourselves and then Hopefully, I don't really want to get advanced because then I'll have to eat a little. So as long as we're not advanced, I think we can honor as much as we can. Jai Sachinandan Prabhu. So as long as we're not advanced, we can honor as much as we can, isn't it? Oh, God, there's always some catching Krishna consciousness, isn't it? Okay, so then we'll try to eat simply thereafter. Okay. Okay, so let's honor prasadam, thinking about not overeating because that's going to hamper, and obstruct and create an obstacle on our path of quick devotion. At the same time, honor prasadam, chanting out the names of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Please don't talk some political things and mundane subject matter when honoring prasadam. That's the worst thing we can do. That's like disrespecting prasad. And please, when you finish your prasadam, don't go to your friend who's still honoring prasadam and start talking to him. All right? Let him honor his prasadam nicely. So we are very thankful to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has brought to us the message of Narada Muni. Narada Muni was always trying to liberate those who are ignorant of the real purpose of life and trying to educate them. We heard about Dhruva Maharaj. We can also appreciate that Narada Muni had advised Mrigari the hunter. By his spiritual potency, he was able to show Mrigari that all the animals that you have killed are going to come back to kill you and injure you, hurt you. Here also, Narada Muni was so kind to bring to the notice of Maharaj Bharishyat that those animals that you are killing in sacrifice are going to be hurting you with iron horns. So Mrigari the hunter was able to follow the instructions very nicely, and he became so conscious of all living creatures that he didn't even want to pay obeisances because he could be injuring the ants. Had to wipe them off first. So that's the potency of associating with the devotees of the Lord. They can help us to realize the value of human life. And we should follow in the footsteps of Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada and advise whoever we meet about the real purpose of life. Invite them to come to the temple. Because otherwise at the end of the life, they may leave, the soul may leave through orifices that are not nice. So we are here and we have to help them. Let them leave through the skull. Let them leave in an auspicious way. All right, so 8:31. Any questions? Easy ones, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Atri Rishi Prabhu, for your wonderful class and
Hare Krishna.
also enlightening us also. Just one, back in the years of my Krishna consciousness, early Krishna consciousness, so I used to bring Mahaprasad and come home. And my dad used to chastise me. He said, Mahaprasad is not meant for, it's not food. It's just meant for honoring. It's just little of Mahaprasad. You can share it up amongst like the family and stuff. So, yeah, so I used to eat a lot back then, but now it's like controlled. So from 3 meals a day, I just only eat 1 meal a day. And because of my training, because of my workout, exercise, and everything, it's actually helping me to control and stuff else. So yeah,
Right.
we should eat prasadam, but in less quantities.
All right. Thank you very much. That reminds me of, I don't know where we get these rhyming words, in Sanskrit. If you have 1 meal a day, you are yogi. If you have 2 meals a day, you are a bhogi. And if you have 3 meals a day, you are a rogi. I seriously don't understand how they get all these words to rhyme, isn't it? Yogi, bhogi, rogi. But regarding prasadam, when I was a youngster and I came in contact with the Krishna consciousness movement, and I heard from them that everything we eat should be prasad. Not just, when we have Satnarayan Vrat Katha or Fridays, your father will bring some sweets and then you offer that to Lakshmi, and everything we eat should be prasad. And I said that these people are the most intelligent people in the world, because if prasad is good, we should be having it all the time. I'm not saying 3 meals a day now. I'm just saying that whatever we eat should be prasad. Why not? Srila Prabhupada ki. Thanks for sharing that with us, Prabhu. Why do we have to have a class like this just before breakfast? Hare Krishna.